Explaining every damage affix in CODM DMZ. Affix is what you get when you buy a legendary or a mythic weapon. But mythic weapon affix is better and you can get either 1, 2, 3. Instead, on legend is a bit worse and you can get maximum of 2, 1 or 2. And there's a total of 37 affix. And you really need to be lucky to get what you want. So every affix is very self-explanatory. So I'm just gonna explain the damage affix because it is not very clear what it does actually. So yeah. So we are gonna be using and testing against mythic armor. So first of all, we're gonna do this on the base RAM 7 without any damage affix. It hits 30 on the chest, 30 on the stomach, 27 on the lower arm, 25 on upper arm, 25 on legs, and 32 on head. So yeah, this is against a mythic RAM 7 without any buff, any damage buffs. Now this is Fatal Strike, damage multiplier increased by 0.3, but it's only for the head. Because you see, 30 same, 30 same, 27 same, 25 same, 25 same, 40. Without this 0.3 multiplier, it's 32, but with the Fatal Strike, it's 40. Now for the 3 0.2 damage multiplier, which is OTM, Disabling Strike, and Strike from Disable, we cannot really tell which one is which one because it doesn't tell us. But I think the body is OTM, the hands is Strike from Disable, and the legs is Disabling Strike. If my theory is true, the body is OTM. You see 35, without it gonna be 30, 35 and 35, but it doesn't buff the hand. No, it doesn't buff the hand, it doesn't buff the leg, it doesn't buff the head. It only buff the body, the chest and the stomach. Yeah, that's OTM. Okay, so now we have the Strike from Disable, which buff the hands only. You see 30 same, 30 same, 32 is the damage before is 27, but it have got buff to 32. 30 the damage before is 25, but it got buff to 30. And you see the leg, no buff, head, no buff. So it only buff the arms by 0.2. So I don't have Disabling Strike on my RAM 7. We're gonna test on the SO14. This is the Disabling Strike but on Legendary, so it only buffed by 0.1. So SO14, this damage multiplier is 1 by default. This is 1, but this is 0.9. So the leg should be less than the stomach and the upper arm. But 51, 51, 51. You see the leg also deals 51 instead of 47, I think, because the leg have the multiplier buff. So yeah, this is the Disabling Strike, only buff the leg. There's no buff to the hands, there's no buff to the stomach, there's no buff to the head, only the leg. So yeah. So now this is the RAM 7 with the FMJ. You see, damage level increased by 1 to deal armor damage. So basically, if you wanna to understand it on easy term, if I'm shooting a mythic armor, it gonna act as it's just a legend armor. If I'm shooting a legend armor, it's gonna act as if it's a epic armor. Or if you wanna be like a bit more advanced, basically every body part got a 0.1 buff except for the head, I think. Yeah, every body part gets a 0.1 buff because the difference between epic, legend and mythic armor is only 0.1 points each level. So basically, yeah, every body part got 0.1 buff. Or if you wanna understand it easily, just if you shoot a mythic armor, it's gonna deal legend. If you shoot a legend armor, it's gonna deal like an epic. You see, 33. Yeah, we should just deal 30. And on legend armor we deal 33, but instead we deal legend armor damage on this mythic armor. The same for the hand, it got a buff. Same for the leg, it got a buff. And head, oh yeah, the head also got a buff. The head also got a buff. Now if we try on a legend armor, you see, it's gonna deal 36. It's supposed to deal only 33, but it deals 36 because it's acting like this is an epic armor. So yeah, basically FMJ buff everything but only by 0.1. So yeah. Okay, so now this is the arrow bullet. I don't have arrow bullet myself, so I'm gonna be borrowing the gameplay, the testing from my friend's recording. So basically what arrow bullet does, it's gonna take 10% of your damage and take that damage and put it on the HP. So for example, if you deal someone 30 damage, it's gonna take 10%, which is 3, and it's gonna deal 3 damage on the inside health, the white health, not the armor health. So by the time you have cracked the enemy armor, they are gonna be low in HP. So you see the 3 damage? Yeah, as I said, it's gonna take the 30 and then it's gonna calculate the 10% of the 30, and so the 3 damage is gonna go directly on your white HP. For example, if you have 40 damage, it's gonna take 4 damage and it's gonna deal the 4 damage to your white HP. So yeah. So the last one is Vital Strike. I don't have a gun that only have Vital Strike, so I'm gonna use my personal gun. But my personal gun have Vital Strike and OTM stack, so I'm gonna explain it later. So basically what Vital Strike does is gonna buff the hand, it's gonna buff the body and the chest, or the chest and the stomach, but it's gonna nerf the leg. So basically, yeah, you see the hand got a buff, the stomach got a buff, and the chest got a buff too, but it's gonna nerf the leg. So you might be wondering, how the hell am I dealing 40? Well, because I also have OTM on this gun. So basically I have 0.2 buff on chest and stomach, but I also have 0.2 buff again because of OTM on the chest and stomach, but my hand only have 0.2 buff. So yeah, I deal 40, 40, 32 and 30. Basically the conclusion is Vital Strike buff chest, stomach, lower arm and upper arm, but nerfing the leg. It doesn't touch the head. The head is normal. So yeah. So in conclusion, what is the base affix that you can get on a gun? So first of all, these are my personal affix ranking. You see, why I say personal is because some people find another affix useful. Some people may find disabling strike useful because of the SO14 0.9 nerf on the leg, but for me, no, I don't like the leg. So yeah. And what is the possible combination on a gun? Personally, this is my personal thought on the best combination on a gun. You know what crazy? I already have 2 of them on my gun. You see, I already have the Vital Strike, I already have the OTM, I only missing the arrow bullet.